Anyway, something I was going to talk about, then got a tad distracted.
I build shelters from the winds, feed the countless waters, see the vast earth, and burn in eternal fires.
Good for you. That's creepy. Oof. Ha. Not today, brah. Hold on. Ah, grape flavored. Anyway, so before I got too much into fan mission creation, well, actually at the time I was working on Tribal Breeze, which is the first one I ever worked on. I had this idea for this campaign, or fan mission based campaign. Shoot. That was set in kind of an alternate, more medieval setting. So I think it's pretty evident that the Thief games are set in kind of a Western European setting, medieval setting, but did I say medieval? I meant the setting I imagined was more Middle Eastern, I meant. So, kind of Arabian, Persian, something like that. And it just so happened that in the center of it all, I envisioned this Mage's Guild, which kind of dealt in knowledge. It'd be just like the Hammers are kind of a not parody necessarily, but they're kind of inspired by Catholic Christianity. At least I think it's pretty evident. I mean, they've got these strict tenets. The hammer kind of resembles a cross, and so on and so forth. Well, this setting would have a religious guild that would kind of resemble Islam. So instead of having like a hammer, they would sort of have a crescent moon. Not with the star though, but the crescent moon would still be there. I'm gonna go deal with these guys so I can talk quick before I go and read that note. Oh, don't turn around. Whoa, what the? Oh, well that's... Are these guys supposed to have a... Hold on. These guys supposed to talk or something? They're set up just right to have a conversation. Conversation?
Oh well. Must have nothing.
Conversation. No? Well, what the donkey? Really?
See something over there?
No conversation. They're just standing together in this dick move. Alright.
Stopped.
Hello?
Why would they be facing each other? It makes no sense. I can't quite get that guy. Okay, that did it. So anyway, in this Middle Eastern setting, I had planned there to be a guild of mages. They wouldn't be elemental like this because I think the elemental magic in the way that these mages do it is kind of lame, in my personal opinion.
Is someone there?
I mean, they go around talking all about fire and earth and air and stuff in this fetishistic tone, like it's all mystical and crap. And I much prefer the way the pagans handle the mysticism of the elements. They make it seem like it's kind of nature worship, which, you know, makes a lot more sense from that kind of perspective, at least in my opinion. So, but anyway, this was all planned out long before I actually, well, I guess it wasn't that long before, but before I really knew anything about Thief Gold. I hadn't ever watched a Let's Play at that point. I didn't know, I had never played Thief Gold, so I never even heard about the Hand Brotherhood. So it was just a complete coincidence that we happened to both have envisioned this Middle Eastern-based mages guild thing. Although mine, I think, would be a little more sinister, because there'd be kind of a... in the setting I imagine, there'd be kind of a conflict between... excuse me, the religious faction, which dealt with knowledge, like the crescent moon would kind of represent... It's just like how the Hammerites took kind of the cross-like symbol and made the hammer, and then it's all about building and craftsmanship and discovery through knowledge. It helps you build and stuff. Well, the whole crescent moon thing will be based around kind of an idea of a full moon or complete darkness kind of representing ignorance. And so it's kind of a religious faction that sort of like the Hammers fights against ignorance and tries to seek out knowledge, but it's a little less malevolent. And that's just because if you look at Islam versus Christianity, I guess I'm going off on kind of a tangent here, but if you look at the two and kind of compare them a bit, Christianity has long been, how do I want to say, well, they've had a lot of inquisitions, they've tended to go on a lot of witch hunts, that kind of thing, while Islam is in a place in the world where it's largely believed by everyone. I know that at one point Christianity was pretty much universal as well, but, and this I might be completely mistaken in this, but I've always had the impression that among people who believe in Islam, Islam isn't quite so big of a crazy deal. At least it wasn't in the past. Hold on, let me pause a moment to check this out. Oh yeah, see, he's saying that the folks here are like what these people were like, and they've got the potential for enlightenment and so forth, which connects well to them being kind of related to the Middle Eastern world and Islam and stuff, because not sure if you're aware of this, a little bit of a history lesson to even further deepen my digression, but during the Dark Ages, much of what ended the Dark Ages and started kind of a Age of Enlightenment. That looks like a trap. Is that a trap? No? Sure looks like a trap. Oh, is here the trap? No, there's no trap. Okay. It's not a trap. It's not a trap. Oh, okay, okay. I believe you. It just looked like a trap. Anyway, a large part of the knowledge that came over to Europe came during the First Inquisition, which is basically when Christianity went and had a big fight with Islam and the Muslims and stuff. They went into, like, I want to say Spain, and then a lot further east than that. And a lot of it was because at the time Christianity had sort of a people didn't know much about much in the Dark Ages. You know, no, everyone's aware of that. And in some ways, the church was afraid of that some knowledge was witchcraft, and people weren't certain what was real and what was magic and what was evil and what was good and all that kind of stuff. So it was tough for knowledge to really get off the ground. But meanwhile, there was an explosion of knowledge in the Muslim world, because not only were the Muslims more confident in their religion, so they weren't nearly as paranoid about something being evil magic and having to squash knowledge. They were more interested in learning about how the world works, because they had the opinion of, you know, Allah made the world, and so by learning about the world, all you're doing is learning more about Him. And that kind of feeling was adopted by Christianity eventually, but it wasn't until some time later. But also another thing is that after the fall of Rome, a lot of the Roman scientific texts weren't translated into languages that the West could read, and they weren't brought over to the West. Instead, they were translated into Arabic. So basically, the Muslims, aside from having the advantage of a fairly stable society that continued to advance knowledge for hundreds of years after the fall of Rome, they also were building on the foundation of Roman science and learning, which the Western world didn't have the advantage of. So, after the Western world invaded the Muslim world, they captured a lot of libraries. I'm just kind of going in circles here, just trying to find my way. and they translated a lot of those... Okay, creepy. They translated a lot of those texts, those Arabic texts, into English and Latin and such. So then people got a big boost of knowledge, not only Roman texts that had been lost to the West for hundreds of years, maybe 1,000 years, but also all the scientific progress that had taken place in the Muslim world. Things like alchemy didn't exist in the West until the First Inquisition, when that knowledge was taken from Muslim libraries. And additionally, I think I'm gonna go ahead and... No, I can't. Oh, lame. Well, how about this one? I'll give this a shot. Whoa! Hold on. This history lesson was being temporarily delayed by a bit of gameplay. I know I'm kind of rambling about something that has nothing to do with the game, but it sort of does, in a way. Because, to be honest, if I wouldn't be talking about that, I'd just be talking about how, for the most part, uninteresting these rooms are and all that kind of stuff. And you heard all that sort of chatter back in the Thieves Guild, so screw that. I don't know where to put these guys. Ah, crud. I guess I'll have to find a body spot. Do these guys have anything on them? No? Alright. Where was I? Oh, and another thing that was picking up from the Muslim libraries was like the study of... Well, there was a lot of things, but mathematics was a big thing. They really expanded mathematics. Hold on.
Huh? What's that? I surrender.
Oh, okay, that didn't work how I wanted, but good enough. And also, like, the lens, that is like glass lenses and stuff. The properties of light bending is the kind of thing that was being studied by the Muslims, and then once the West had that knowledge, then it expanded it into studies of like lenses for spyglasses, telescopes, microscopes, etc. So anyway, the point is, the long-winded point is just that the Muslims at one point were basically in the forefront of knowledge, okay? Far beyond what the West had during the Dark Ages / early medieval period. So, in my opinion, Thief takes place after the point when it would take place after the time when that knowledge was acquired, so it'd be kind of the Middle Ages. It wouldn't be the early Middle Ages, and it wouldn't be the Dark Ages, even though it's based on something called a game called Dark Camelot. I mean, that's the game they were originally going to make. Well, hold on, look at it. This guy has... Oh, never mind. Yeah, come out here. Whoa. I was stuck on the door there. Come at me, bro. Ha. Whoa. I'm trying to knock him out. Okay, there we go. Well, I just need to get him in the dark and then do my unprofessional knockout. So, yeah. Even though Thief is based on a game called Dark Camelot, which, you know, aside from having the word dark in it, it also, Camelot is not, it's kind of a, I want to say it's a Celtic, or Celtic, however you want to pronounce it, tale, but that's actually from, seriously, I can't unlock it, hold on, let me see if the developers made this mistake. Can I bash it open? It sounds like I can. Yep. So what's the point of that needing a key if I can just bash it open? Huh? That's a mistake that some FM makers
Please, don't hurt
have.
him.
But I'm surprised to see that done by a developer. Whoops. Anyway, let's just stuff all these guys in the same place. In a big pile, a big loving pile. Yay, everyone's friends. What was that going on? Looks like there should be a doorway here, but I guess I just couldn't find anything to put in there. That kind of stands out because it's the only one that doesn't have a door in it. That's weird. Not sure if that's cool or just stupid. I can't decide. This room's kind of cool just because I like rooms that have pointed roofs like this. Especially like attics and stuff. It's just kind of cool. But, yeah. So, what was I going on about? I lost my train of thought. So whether it's Anglo-Saxon or Celtic, take your pick. But the point is, the Arthurian legend, which, you know, like the whole Camelot, Excalibur, etc., that's actually a Dark Age, you know, really a Dark or early Middle Age tale. It comes from around like 600 to 700 AD. So, well after the Romans left Europe, but sometime before, I believe, the Anglo-Saxons and the Normans came along. Sorry, if you don't know much about history, this is going to be a very boring Let's Play episode for you, so sorry about that. But I want to explain kind of my thoughts about this whole Mage's Guild thing in full, and I can't really do that unless I explain all my thoughts. There we go. I do kind of like these little chambers, though. That's kind of cool. Even though this place is kind of simple, it looks kind of neat just because of the corners of the room here, and just the way it's set up. It's got some pretty simple furnishings and a lot of empty space here, but I think it looks all right. You know, a little boring maybe, but it doesn't really bother me. I still kind of like it. So, well, what's this?
Looks like Captain Regalio's been holding out on the mages.
Oh.
Good thing he can't hold out on me.
Ah, it's that one amulet. Well, I'm glad I found that without trying. This is the captain's quarters, and that must have been the Regalio I just knocked out. Alright, so I guess I'm looking for the central library then. Why is this book kind of sideways like this? He got the medallion, and he's got some profit off the ordeal, so I guess no one knows he's smuggling it out. What now? Okay, he's saying one of the hand mages smuggled the talisman away, so it's going to be tough to find. Great. What's this? A water arrow just sitting on the counter there? That's kind of funny. It's unusual. Don't usually see it just sitting in places like that. So anyway, in this setting that I envisioned, which was kind of enforced once I learned all that history and stuff, I kind of, for a while, was really big into documentaries about the Middle Ages and stuff. It's very interesting stuff. I highly recommend it if you're at all curious about my jabberings on. I'm sure that the library will be towards the top, so I'm going to go down for now, just to make sure I don't miss anything. I was in here already, wasn't I? Yeah. So, in this setting, there'd be the crescent, just kind of like the hammers. The crescent would be, again, that religious faction that would be based on Islam instead of on early Christianity or Catholicism or whatever. Oh, that's another thing you could tell from them being kind of Arabic. It's from the names. That's the other clue. Aside from the darker skin, they also have names that very much scream Middle East. I'm not even going to try to pronounce them. They needed chemicals. They sent someone to the city. They need 3 goats, a camel, and a burrick for experiments. Okay, whatever. Flavor text, unnecessary. And upside down scroll. 4 towers of Mage Keep. It's one name. Sacrosanct. I assume that means that they're sacred or something. Or just, you know, secure, whatever. I don't know my words very well. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, see, Ibn al-Hurud. You know, very much sounds like a Muslim name. Or Arabic name or whatever. Oh, I saw this earlier, so... Yeah, so anyway... The mages I envisioned wouldn't have been the kind of cheesy elemental type. They would be dealing with arcane magic that worked a little bit differently. But after I heard about the Hand Brotherhood, I was amazed by how well everything else kind of clicked. So it'd be kind of the homeland of the Hand Brotherhood. And in this place, there'd be like the Crescents, but also there'd be kind of an equivalent of many of the different factions that you see in the Thief series, except a little different. They aren't like direct copies. But it's just kind of an interesting setting, and if I ever have the time, I'd still like to go back and make a campaign for it, but it's just that everything takes so much time. It's very, very time consuming. I mean, I like the idea of the Hand Brotherhood, this Arabic like faction that has all this knowledge that people here in the West can only hope to have